Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the winner bracket final of Group A. The first decision of the day is coming closer. It's Infi versus 120, one of the best humans that this game has ever seen, versus undoubtedly the best undead this game has ever seen.
Well, now, with a statement like this, you're gonna make all the TED fans very angry.
My heart bleeds because I have to, place Madfrog second, but...
And that as well, of course. I guess we should say it, though.
Yeah.
Like, he won 2 championships, 2 world championships, pretty much. Which other undead can say that of himself? No one! If he makes it his 3rd championship here, then I guess we should say it certainly goes to him, the title of best undead ever. But is he going to be able to? Is he in shape for that, to accomplish this task? I don't know. Last GCS he was very disappointing, along with a lot of other players, not making out of the group stages. Against Shimiko he did win 2-0, but it wasn't an utter smashing as it may have been in the past.
That is true. Both players actually dropped last time in the group stage, so they will make up for it now, at least one of them. Most likely 2 of them, in case we have no huge surprise in the lower bracket final. The question is, who's going to end on top? Who will have the better draw for the playoffs? Because the winner of one group faces the runner-up of another group. So, on paper, should be easier. The question is, will both play their main races? We've seen Infi playing Orc. We have seen 120 playing Orc. 120 playing Orc against Human. Infi playing Orc against Undead. Could be an Orc mirror, actually, but hopefully not.
And, well, that is something to be mentioned of these groups of friends. Sometimes we see some messing around, especially Infi and TH. In the first qualifier in the grand final, they played random versus random mirror to determine who got the first place, who got the 10 points in the first qualifier. And 120 and Infi, they may not be as thick as thieves as Infi and TH are, but he is in that group. He is in that illustrious round of elite players. Is this gonna be, showing itself in the races or not? Bans are Amazonia by Infi. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. Twisted Meadows by 120 is understandable.
So he leaves in Turtle Rock.
And Infi leaves in Ancient Isles.
Yeah, and
Turtle Rock.
he leaves in AI, NTR, and rather vetoes AZ. That... oh, that's so unfortunate! The random map is AI. So this is something, did we tell the audience this already? Each player has 1 veto, and then the first map out of the remaining 5 gets randomed. And if you land on a bad one, then that is very, very unfortunate. Oh, wait a minute.
Orc.
It's Orc!
Infi Orc.
That's why.
That explains a lot.
Why.
Yes, yes. He's going back. That is one of the biggest strengths of Infi. He can switch between human and Orc. We have seen this the past 3 months, actually. And yeah, he doesn't feel comfortable against Undead anymore. We said it before, 120 has a win streak against every single human in this tournament. And now he has to face an Orc. A matchup that he doesn't like that much. If he plays it different than any other Orc in the world, I think. Well, not in the world, there's the Helsings of this world and stuff, but
on the highest
level,
yeah.
Nobody plays it like this.
Infi, yeah, he plays this lame style, he plays the split push style, he plays the, I don't know, dishonorable side, whatever you want to call it. And that can be very effective against WFZ, for example. He had great success. 120 though, when I see him playing against that kind of style, to my knowledge, he usually has the right answers.
This is the 6th GCS. This is 3 GCS titles facing each other. 2-time winner 120 against the first winner, Infi. 120 staying true to the Undead, to the Scourge, the best representative that this race has. Infi is switching. And Chaco called it in the Warcraft 3.info article that Infi seems to be afraid of 120. He said, quote, whenever he's facing 120 on ladder and he gets the slightest disadvantage, he leaves the game. And we've seen that in NSL, in GCSs. It's true what he says. So, yeah, I'm really, really curious how 120 will approach this.
And this is a question that I was asking, many people were asking. Alright, Infi, he's, playing Orc on qualifiers. Well, whatever, qualifiers. Is he going to do it on the big stage? And the answer is yes. Now this is still group stage. I'm still certain Infi is very, very confident that he is going to make it out of this group, even if it may not be in first place. But alright, let's focus on this game. Is Infi going to keep on playing the way he used to? That would be tier 3, raiders, speed scrolls, attack the main, tower up the expansion, expand, economy, that kind of game. Or is he going to try to play it straight up? Something that 1-0 himself did against Focus in the qualifier grand final and won, to everyone's great surprise.
Okay, Infi, not only a GCS champion, he has won it all that there is in the scene. He has won WCAs, WCGs, WEMs, all the big titles that there are. He has them. But it's quite some time ago. WM was 2008, WCA was 2014, GCS was 2015. Since then, not too many big tournament wins for the 6th race. 1-0's big time. Certainly not 2018 as well. Both have to make up for a okay year. But that's not what they want. They want to be on top of everything. Infi had one GCS where nobody really calculated him into the round of the top favorites, and then he had such a phenomenal tournament here, wrecking everyone until the grand final where he meet 1-0.
None other than 1-0 indeed. Back then, staying true to the alliance, playing human as always, but here he is making an exception for 1-0. The best island in the world. DK start here, fast tech, late fiends, and he's gonna be allowed this entire creep camp before the Blade Master comes in, but now that DK is low, with a good grunt block, this could be the TP or the kill already, but grunt block isn't quite there.
To that. 1-0 is the best GCS player in history. If we exclude the last edition, he was in every single final. 2 silver medals, 2 titles, and this year he won the grand final 3-0 against TH. That was his biggest success this year. So is he in GCS shape or not? Fiend is out, cancels the healing, which is a nice start there, I guess. Tech is on the way, and the Acolytes are protected from the big sword. He has 2 circles already. If you tune in for the first time since forever, we had a patch 1.29. Critical Strike got nerfed. Clause of Attack not calculated into Critical Strike anymore. Circlets do, though, so it's nice to have them. And this is what Focus does, this is what So-In does, and this is what Infi does. Sniping the Warlords here to get the big consumable, but the Acolyte is there scouting it, and the DK is coming in for the coil.
Comes in early. Too early, really, for the last hit onto the Warlord. Or is it? He's dropping lower. And last hit coil. He gets it with the right click. He saves the mana. Are you serious? Mana Stone goes to the Blade Master, but man, Frostmourne hungers.
I raised the question, is he in GCS shape? Frostmourne certainly is. Not wasting the coil there, man. It's not not using the coil there. It's hard for the orcs to do that because backstab damage is lower than the coil damage, but still unbelievable. Mana Stone is nice for the 2nd or 3rd hero that we're gonna see, or for more scouting, more map control. If you consume it, you get 300 mana back, and in the meantime, mana regeneration is increased, which is nice already for the Blade Master for more Windwalks. He is on tier 2. We see most likely the Shadow Hunter in the Altar of Storms and 1 Beastery. I'm just waiting for the tier 3 tech to happen. He has the resources. Not going for it yet.
DK, low HP here, getting purged from the creeps. This could be an opening for more damage from the Blade Master with a scroll of speed. May be able to hope for a TP, but won't invest it. Tier 3 rush by the Undead. This is pretty much what the meta has come to in the nowadays. In the past, it used to be orcs trying to be aggressive with Hex trying to kill fiends, but it became more and more passive, and nowadays we usually don't see too much action until tier 3. Actually, in this game, it is more action than we're used to oftentimes nowadays.
WFZ came up with a very interesting strategy with early Shades and Dreadlord 3rd. I wonder if 1-0 picks up on that, or if he plays it standard with Dark Ranger or Pit Lord. We see the Lich, of course, in the Altar. Tier 3 is there, and Slaughterhouse coming. As you said, the Tier 3 was a rush. Not a single grunt has been lost early. The Shadow Hunter is the 2nd hero of choice for Infi. It's so weird. I wanted to call him the Orc, but it just doesn't fit.
And I think the WFZ like build is exactly what we're going to be seeing, because it's 4 ghouls. You really don't need 4 ghouls normally, but if you want to go Slaughterhouse and 3 heroes and Sacrificial Pit, then you do need 4 ghouls. And only 2 fiends is what you're going to have then to work with. Again, matchup becoming more and more passive, more and more greedy. In the past, with Spirit Walkers and Speed Scrolls and SH across the map, 2 fiends is not going to be good enough. But nowadays, everybody's creeping, everybody's taking it slow. So 1-0 is allowed to gather more experience in the middle of a map, with barely any army to speak of.
Yeah, and as you said, there is the pit. There is going to be the shade. There's also an illusion scouting this, so Infi will be well aware. He saw that, he casted the qualifiers where WFZ played exactly that style. So what's the answer to it?
Well, we still don't know if it's going to be the Dreadlord. Could just be for the early shade. But yeah, it does look like the Dreadlord at the moment. The games where WFZ was successful with that was when he got good hero levels and managed to, you know, disable the Blade Master. And before the Blade Master could do anything, then you have already killed like 3 or 4 units. But if after that the Blade Master, you know, can lay into the undead army and can't be dealt with, then maybe he can come back all by himself. He is trying to apply a bit of pressure here. 1 Raider and the Blade being annoying, but the big item should already be taken. I wonder what he found here from the Warlord. SH should be coming from the middle of the map. Good illusion scouting though here. Sees what's going on. Despite the scroll of speed, the Orc will not come in range. Oh, actually, this could be a TP forced. If he doesn't TP, this Fiend is definitely gonna die.
Yeah, with the Shadow Hunter, there's a Hex. There's also no coil on the DK in general, right? So.
Oh, he uses the Mana Stone.
Okay.
Don't know about that choice. There's more ensnares. He brings the ghouls. Usually Undeads never want to fight before tier 3, but he's stubborn enough. He's going to take this fight on tier 2.
Okay, Fiend about to die, Raider about to die. He takes that one out, coils the Fiend, so saves it with that. There's 2 more, I guess. Nova onto the Raider with that level up. He kills the second one, but the Fiend falls finally.
No more ensnares now, though. Can he surround this Fiend? Oh, well done. But there is 1 more coil. It's going to be a trade here, as it seems like. The Grunt is certainly gonna die, and the DK, there's 1 more coil. These statues doing so much regen work at the back, and he gets the heal again, but that was the very last coil for quite a while. Grunt's dropping lower here, the second one. Nova secures the kill. And in the end, there was a really nice trade for the Undead on tier 2, yes, where the Orc is supposed to have the upper hand.
Yeah, it's just pretty sick how he handled that fight, actually. So much mana used, though, the big stone used, rather going for the Mana Stone than for the Town Portal. We will see if that was a good decision or not. We have a Tinker third. No Dreadlord, no Pit Lord. Yeah. But he knows about the towers, as it seems, and sets up a Pocket Factory to tear them down.
Scouted earlier from the Shade, so he knew about those towers. And yeah, that's the thing about like this kind of lame style. You just have to defend and not let him get the expo. That's the most important thing. And of course, once towers are up with reinforced defenses, it's really hard to break this. So he wants to get rid of them before the defense has been established. And Infi is trying to force him back here into his own base, but having lost his first 2 Raiders earlier, he doesn't have the most damage against structures at the moment.
True that. So more Raiders. Gonna be a lot of lame here. Back and forth, speed scrolls in, out. But... oh, nice long-range coil, good eye sniper. And he might get a grunt there as well, but this is quite a bit of damage coming in. Saves the ghoul. Nice. Well done there by 1-0.
Scroll of speed so late,
yeah,
after the Raider and the grunt died.
Also, nice block by the Lich there to keep the Blade Master away from that ghoul and saving him.
Yeah, very well executed. And the Tinker, only by himself, and the Pocket Factory got rid of the last tower. No more, defensive structures there. The Tinker does die, but it's a level 1 hero. Doesn't really matter too much. He's gonna be back so soon. If the Orc in these kinds of scenarios manages to kill the altar, then this is actually pretty nice. Very hard to get the Tinker back, but he only killed the what's it called? The shop, the Tomb of Relics, not the altar. So this Tinker will be back in no time.
Okay, time for the Lich to level up. He has Nova, but not level 2. You certainly want that. Middle of the map belongs to 1-0 here. And speaking of which, he goes Worms.
All right. Haven't seen that in too long against Orc. Well, from Edo, but other than that, normally Undeads don't do that anymore. There used to be a time on ladder, especially where we saw this fairly frequently. And now, if we can get this altar, this Tinker kill will have been worth it. but it should be pretty close. Oh, where are the acolytes for the repair? Is it still going to be good enough? He gets out, just barely in time to survive. But now he's ensnared.
Another ensnare. Can he kill him with a few crits? Maybe, but he's close to the shop. He tears down the shop. This is all income for Infi, by the way, as he has pillage. Tinker, just fresh out of the altar, has to use a potion. 1-0 on the way back. But the Lich is missing, super far away, and so it's an easy escape for Infi, who did a lot of damage. Nova, if only he had a coil. Nova, I mean. There was a coil if only he had a Nova.
If only he had boots of speed, Neo. Then it would have been in range. TC third. Alright, this orc army is starting to look like a actual army for fighting. But for that he needs level 3 SH first. And probably also something with piercing damage. Especially with Frostworms on the way. Because the first one should be joining the undead army soon. One Frostworm you can just hex and deal with it that way. But then you have to hope that there's no destroyer for the dispel.
Yes, again. Oh, it's just an illusion. He sees. Well, he had the Lich there, the Shade there. Wonder why he sends the illusion as well. Infi at the moment, once again, only Raiders, few grunts, no Kodo, no Headhunters, nothing. Oh, there's the Kodo, as I say it. Torrent Chieftain third for the Stomp, but both take a little time to creep up, get some items.
This is a lot of Raiders. You could think about dropping the main with the Zeppelin, but not when he's getting creepjacked like this. Coil almost executes the Raider. Nova onto the Grunt instead, and that one's certainly gonna die. The rest of the camp goes to the undead. Level 3 for the Lich. That's such a big upgrade against Raiders. And this undead army is small, but fairly potent. The Tinker in the front line, though, may die pretty quickly. Can't get coiled, obviously. He has so many ensnares. Blade Master dropping low, going for the invul, scroll of speed as well. Where are all the ensnares? They're coming a little bit late. This Tinker does manage to get to the backline. Here comes the Stomp. That was a pretty nice one. Kodo did manage to eat, I think, but these Raiders, yes, they can ensnare. They're good for that, but they have, like, no damage.
Yeah, especially when they're slowed. They are so hard to escape. And now he kills 9 supply if this Grunt falls as well, which is the case with the Coil. 9 supply gone, and it's only 1 tower up. The second one is to be cancelled immediately. And the Tinker is still alive as well, like he didn't get that kill. And the Worm, number 1, is coming. We have not seen a tiny Great Hall yet, not even a normal Great Hall trying to set it up. 1-0 shuts it down instantly, once again thanks to good scouting. Shades and Skeletons in this matchup, so worth it.
Yeah, loses the one Shade here. Good thing he has a backup Shade though, can send that in right after. And now, for the first time in this game, the Undead pressuring the Orc main base for a change. He has strong hero levels, not the most mana though. Oh, the SH dropping real low, scroll of speed used, but that's a scroll of speed gone now, and you would love to be able to keep that against the Frostworm up in the air. Is he gonna use the Hex? Not yet.
He uses the heal wave, and that was, I think, his last mana. He was slightly above 100 when we checked first. Only ensnares on him. The Shadowhunter far out of the fight. Coil hits the Worm. Stomp, yeah, does not affect too much here, as it seems. Kodo has Itemus getting focused immediately thanks to the nice block of the Decay. Worm is down, but back up at 60%. Next heal wave. Did he consume the Mana Stone now? I think so.
I believe he did. Kodo is gonna fall. It's GG!
Wow.
The tier 3 Orc trying to expand, trying to split push and harass the base. It does not work against 1-0. He had the answers.
Like, all the answers. We have seen Infi defeating a lot of guys with Orc, with his, especially the expansion timing, and how well he protected everything with towers. Like, he played Orc like he plays human. A little lame, very focused on the economy, but damn, did that not work out this game.
Because with good scouting from the undead side, you can keep the expo from coming up if you're not at a disadvantage. Of course, human expo, early expo cannot be prevented, but against Orc, it certainly is possible.
Especially on smaller maps like AI.
Yeah, and when you go... I still think this, this Shade strategy, I don't know if we want to call it that, we haven't found the right name for the strat, the WFZ strat, basically, it has a lot of weaknesses. You're stuck on 2 Fiends for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have capitalized on that much more. But it's the perfect strategy against, you know, this expansion style from the Orc, because you're definitely going to see when it happens. There's a Shade looking around all the time. And
if you look at the top Orcs, they always go for expansion, especially Lin. This is the win condition for Orcs, as it seems, on the highest level against Undead. So think they are reliant on that. I don't know if that's the case. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's like Focus, for example, plays less expansions and still able to win. So here we see it around the same gold, Infi a little more. But yeah, so many more units killed, man. 40 units for 120 and nice hero levels. Lich level 3. The Shadow Hunter was never level 3 in this game.
Yeah, it really all seemed to turn south when he found the Undead there on tier 2 and looked for the fight, and it seemed like it was supposed to be a good engagement for him. But the ghouls coming from the main, and most importantly, the Mana Stone, turned that fight around. The DK having had so much healing there, taking out the 2 raiders. And if the Orc strategy is dependent on base lane and speed scroll harass, losing 2 raiders is a massive deal.
Yes. And then the second fight in the upper right, where the fight didn't really start, and he already lost 9 supplies, so that was pretty sick as well. He seems very confident. I mean, he's not fooling around. We have seen him sitting in that chair, eating his soup in between games. I mean, he seems very focused this time. Infi, though, I don't know. If you ask me, a little worried.
And I think he has reason to be. Maybe not in the group so much, but in this matchup, against 120. So here we have the maps again. And he picks Echo Isles next.
Okay. Yeah, the base-to-base distance is not that big, so you can, especially with this lane style, you can just rush over, run away. There's like 2 different exits, or a lot of different paths that you can go.
And if you do get up an expo, it's so nice because the Undead will try to pressure the expansion, but then you pressure his base, and you having raiders, you usually force the response back, and then you can just run away with speed scroll. But getting the expo in the first place, this is probably what it's going to be all about. Can he get it? If he does, good chances of winning that game. If he doesn't, very, very slim chances.
Yeah, I agree. It's, again, a 4 gold mine map. So it is, again, easy to scout if he's expanding.
Yeah.
Scouting the creeping, maybe not too much, but he will have an eye on that with skeletons for sure. He's going to have a lot of skeletons early. Like, from WFZ, we've seen this play where he has 6 skeletons up the entire time, and he can do with it whatever he wants, like focus on creeping, focus on scouting. It doesn't really matter.
Alright, in we go.
Map number 2. The Necromancer is 1-0 up. 1 map away from the playoffs against Infi. In the upper right, we do have Infi, who betrays the human race once more. Of course, he can't switch in between a best of 3. Starting in the upper right, and here 120. So far undefeated. That was the first loss in this tournament for Infi, who defeated Hunter before.
Early DK opening once again. Fiends will be delayed. The tech will be faster. I'm still waiting for the day where Infi just plays this straight up. You know, go to tier 3, level up your heroes, get triple hero, have a strong Blade Master and SH, and try to fight on the middle of the map. And then if you get an advantage, then go for the tiny Great Hall. Haven't seen him do that yet. When I saw him playing Orc against Undead, it was always, you know, lame, into economy, into winning the game. Then not the straight up one base play.
It's kind of like he pays the expansion with the money that he gets from pillage.
Yeah, I guess resource-wise you can see it that way. But strategically, like if you get the expo up and you can't defend it, I still feel like the expo, even if he gets it, has to run for such a long time because he has to win with the numbers. Because his heroes fall behind normally always because of his SH not being able to creep and so on. All becomes a rat's tail.
So we've seen the Farseer here. Lots of buffs in patch 1.29 for that guy. He was played quite a few more times than on patch 1.28 and prior. But especially in this matchup, he is so squishy, and we have a relatively easy Coil Nova because of level 3, like super fast on this map. Lich, of course, level 2 will be done as well, so he might explode in like a blink of an eye.
If he's ever out of position and doesn't have good health to work with, That, by the way, helps against the nuke here, as he finds the Circlet of Nobility. Yeah, this is definitely a drawback. Farseer is on the highest level only gonna work with an expansion advantage and with harassment against the Acolyte. Normally, otherwise, it's not gonna work out. There is a decent timing you can go for with a Farseer. You go for tier 2, you go for SH or TC and Raiders and stay tier 2 for a while and try to, use Ensnare, use your strong spells on tier 2 to then buy space for the expansion, because the Undead only has 2, maybe 3 Fiends, and if you keep him pinned down with Ensnares, with Hex and whatever, then maybe you can get that expansion out.
But we've also seen, like, not going Raiders, but mass Wyvern. Especially in the very early days of 1.29, that was kind of the meta for a week, which was not that pleasant to cast, actually. But he might be going for that. It's not a super fast tech, though, and usually Wyverns are played with a fast tech. We have a shop before, so he's not rushing it, and that's quite good. Archmage gets the last hit, Farseer gets the last hit here with level 2, and that is Chain Lightning time.
He has a scroll speed as well. He is trying for these Acolytes, but there are 6 Acolytes anyways. The Scouting Acolyte is still alive, so even if he does kill one, it doesn't matter too much. By the way, from the Nerub Tower positioning, you can see that 1-0 was totally expecting the Farseer. This is a bad Ziggurat positioning against the Blade Master, but fantastic against the Farseer. And as we said at the very beginning, you normally on this level have to accomplish something in the economy harassment department, and so far this Farseer has achieved like nothing.
Yeah, exactly, except creeping up to level 2. That's totally right. The last match between the two was both, by the way, in September 2017, so the first match of the year between the two. That was won by 1-0 in general. Since September he's 7-5 against Infi. Might be one of the reasons why he switched to Orc.
Farseer here, trading hits with a DK level 2 now for the first hero for the Undead. Using this Death Knight very aggressively, moved away from his own creep camps very early to get that scouting info to, not have the surprise Farseer coming over. He wants to apply some of his own pressure.
Infi trying to block the DK to save some space for his Farseer. Shadowhunter is coming, so it's not super lame Chain Lightning wave combo against Acolytes. Oh, nice Storm of Experience, that's gonna help. And he steals experience from 1-0 side of the map, and stealing experience from Undead, always good.
It's cool how he uses the wolves here, sees where the DK is, so he can finish this creep camp pretty greedily, but actually the Fiends are here to harass this. Damage, of course, not good enough to kill off the Grunt. But with the DK and the Aura coming over, perhaps he can even get that one. The scroll speed had been used before. But here we have the Lich. Slaughterhouse soon to be coming. Because that is the big problem of the Farseer. Once there are destroyers, like one of his 2 spells suddenly becomes pretty much useless.
True. And that is Wolves, of course, since they can be dispelled. Unlucky Ensnare, but the Fiends kill it off. Never use a Grunt in the early game, you know the old saying. And again, 1-0 looks like 1 tier above Infi.
Yeah, it's again like Infi going for that lame style or that harassment style, whatever you want to call it, can be successful, but if the Undead responds perfectly, it doesn't work. And 1-0 always seems to be bulletproof against these pressure builds, but now, finally he gets something done. Alright, this SH is going to find the kill here with the Hex, but it's not really a lead for him, because he lost his own Grunt earlier.
Shadowhunter is coming, as you said, for the Hex. And I'm pretty impressed with the DK positioning. Like, he's always there where he's needed. Like, he starts creeping, then moves away a little bit, sees whatever is going on, throws the coils at the perfect timing so far. Pretty good. Level 3 for the Farseer completed. Still a pretty mediocre inventory, though. But with Wolves, this is so easy to creep. On the other side, second unique spot on this map goes to 1-0, and that is the only big consumable on this map.
And once again, the Undead army, pretty greedy, especially considering the creep camp he's taking. This shouldn't be allowed to go off. Alright, and here we go. Actually, Infi is coming north. He wants to punish this because he has Ensnare, he has Hex, he has map control with this, and he's definitely going to win this fight. 1-0. Is he going to TP out this time? Last time he didn't. It turned out to be the right decision. Don't know if it is the right decision again. Yeah, he will have to TP. Can he save this Fiend? It's gonna be close. He won't.
So much disable, man. There was no chance this time. and Snare and Hex at this stage of the game is just so superior. And then you have the normal damage from the Wolves. I mean, little bit of a lack of damage from the Grunts because one guy died, but the Wolves with crit, they make up for it. Even saving the Grunt there, as you can see in the bottom right, healing him up now. And that is already level 2 on the SH.
And another important thing to keep in mind, TP used.
Yes.
TP used against an SH with Hex, of course, and a lot of Snare. This opens up a lot of hero kill potential for the Orc and possibly an easy win.
We do have a Scroll of the Beast on the Undead side. If he didn't sell it, that is pretty damn great, especially when he's going for Worms, because there's no Dispel on Infi's side. So it's going to be a 25% buff on every unit, every hero, and for Worms, that's quite a lot. If he's going for Worms.
Only 3 ghouls though this time, so he's a lot lower on lumber. If he wants to go for Worms, gonna take a lot longer to get there. And for now, I think he needs to replenish the Fiend count first. Finally, the gold mine for the Orc has been crept up, I think it was. So if he wants to go for an expansion, he can do this now. He is tier 3, so he can go for the tiny Great Hall. DK will finally hit his level 3.
Pretty sure he's going for reinforced defenses first. He's lacking lumber, actually, and resources. Investing into towers now. No reinforced defenses yet, but should be finishing pretty damn soon. So far, we haven't seen a dive into the undead base. Now he has 3 raiders, so it should be time for that soon.
I think his priority here is position yourself in the middle of the map, keep the undead pinned down, with ensnares, with hex, whatever it takes, and get the towers up. Get the towers, get the expo, and win with economy. That has been the game plan from the get-go. On map number 1, he never really was in a position to actually win that way, but here he very well may be.
Did we see the 3rd hero, by the way?
No.
Okay. Curious.
But
should be a Dreadlord. Could be a Pit Lord, but should be a Dreadlord.
It's really nice against Speed Scroll escape. You just sleep the Raider, which is Speed Scrolled, and then you can kill him off.
Gets to run away. It is the Dreadlord for the 2nd time here today in this tournament. And now, as Destroyers are up, that spell is so useless, except if he's like constantly attacking with the Destroyers or not, but that is impossible, I guess. And yeah, no tiny Great Hall yet. Inventory is not looking too good for Infi. He didn't do too much damage to him. He stole a little bit of experience and he won the first fight, but now the undead army is becoming so strong.
And how do you want to kill these Destroyers? You have no piercing damage. You obviously have no Blade Master. What Grunts and Raiders have to do it against a 900 HP Destroyer who is going to get coiled? I don't know about that. Sleep, surround. This will have to be a TP.
This is what this hero is designed for, man. This can be so expensive if this continues. We do see a Boneyard.
Oh, wow.
It surprises me.
Yeah, me too. He has scouted the Expo already, right? And with that Boneyard, he gives the Orc quite a bit more time. Well, the Expo isn't there yet, but the towers are there.
Wyvern now. To have that before-mentioned piercing damage for additional stuff against the Worms. He absolutely needs that, man. Otherwise, it's just too sick. Oh, and Snare on the Dreadlord going for the DK as well. That is a surround. Could stab, I guess, but he keeps him surrounded. And Snare locked. Oh, actually, he's able to run out with the Dreadlord helping with some sleep.
But he's losing so much for this, man. Next Raider's gonna die. Even if he gets the TP at this point, it's not a good trade. Oh, but there is the Hex, there's a Fox Fire, but there's the spell as well. So he will be able to TP out. 2 Raiders are hurt, and he gets
both of them. How well done, man. He knew exactly when to focus, not overshooting. And that is, yeah, also one of his big strengths. Like, always spreading the damage almost perfectly when he's in good shape, when he's in a good mood, when he has that momentum going for him.
And what was that, like 3 Raiders for a TP? Horrible trade, but it may have been good enough for the expansion. As we can take a look, there it is. Tiny Great Hall. So now the time's officially ticking.
Oh man. Yeah, but it takes a lot of time until it pays off. Almost 700 gold plus the time. This is time for distraction pushes now. This is time for the speed scroll runs. Get in, get out, and do some damage, get some gold, and distract the undead as good as you can.
Where's the speed scroll? Does he not have a speed scroll? In that case, that was really bad. There's a coil. There's another Raider.
Again, 6 supply gone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, like, you can't go for that attack without a scroll of speed, buddy. That's just way too expensive.
Close to level 3 Lich.
Yeah. And he has a destroyer as well already against the Hex on a Frostworm. Tough position for Infi, despite the Expo being there. Well, I guess he has to go counterattack all of the time. But he lost so many of the Raiders already. He, once again, doesn't have the most damage against buildings.
Yeah, trying to do a split push here, but a Farseer without mana. With Wolves, I don't know, Chain Lightning might have been a little better. The TC is only coming in now. A little Raider, yeah, but he won't do the damage that is necessary. 1-0 is at the expansion in the bottom right. Loses a Lightning Shield. Okay, he might hurt a few ghouls here and there, but I don't think this is hurting too much.
With Spirit Tower now, he can do more damage against the attacking forces of the Orc. Acolytes are in trouble, so this is going to become expensive, but it's also expensive on the Orc side of the map because the peons, the ones that were there, are dead. He's going to kill the towers next. Can the Orc force the TP back from the Undead before his Expo dies? Or can this Frostrum can just defend by himself?
Yeah, I think so too, man. If there would be a Destroyer, it would be even nicer. 4 Acolytes still alive. He's replacing them immediately. I wonder how long it takes until the Heroes and the Fiends take down the expansion. And now he forces the TP and going into the main.
Yep, into the main, exactly. This Expo is dead. There's no saving it anymore.
Yeah, Rod of Necromancy put to good use for normal damage against the building. He's trying to get to Mass Wyvern finally, but that took forever and might be too late. There are a few Fiends, there should be Web. He has a Frostwound which does excellent damage against it, and this 700 gold are gone.
Yeah. Not a good investment. That was no Warren Buffett expansion.
More like a Trump deal.
He's not gonna make great deals for the Horde, man. With these Windriders that he has, can he hope to take a good fight now against the Destroyers, against the Frostworm? Is this enough piercing damage? Does he have the heroes necessary to back it up? The Farseer is strong at level 4, who's surrounded, by the way. And we get a GG out once again. The next 2-0, the third 2-0 in a row. 1-2-0 makes it through into the playoffs in first place.
And what a statement, man, to end this group with Infi in the group with 4-0. This is finally 1-0 back in GCS shape. He's once again in his playoffs. It's the 5th time he makes it to the playoffs in the Gold Championship Series. Infi again fearing for his tournament life. And he could hit the same fate that he had already last time in GCS Winter when he dropped in the group stage. Therefore, one of the two weaker opponents has to step up immensely. Lower bracket semi-final is our next target. It's Chimiko versus Hunter, South Korea versus Peru. And Chimiko most likely was looking into the lower bracket final already, and now he will play Infi, which is his weakest matchup. But we will talk about that later. So,
yes.
What was 1-0's biggest strength? Do you think it's 1-0's strength, or was it Infi's weakness?
I think it's the weakness of the strategy. I think if you go for this, again, I may sound like a bit of a broken record, but if you go for the base lane style, Expo attempt, and so on, if the other plays accordingly well and plays close to perfect, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, period. And 1-0, I've seen him defend this for, I don't know, the 6th time now. He has played this too many times. He knows how to respond.
WFC as well. I think the Undead just needed 1 month, I think, to figure it out. Play the Dreadlord, scout a little differently, get prepared, mix in worms more, and then that's what we get.
In that game, I think he could have played, I don't know, Firelord 3rd.
Soulburn is a good spell, by the way.
Very good spell, 3-in-1.
All the statistics are seemingly equal, but once again, no level 3 Shadowhunter, and the Lich level 3 is just so goddamn strong. And then, yeah, 1-0, just a better player, better strategy.
Yeah, it also didn't seem to come together too well. Usually, especially when you play Farseer, you want to creep up the gold mine pretty early, then on tier 2, expand, or on the way to tier 2, then use the SH and the Ensnare to keep the Undead back, get that expansion early. Just came way too late, he took way too many losses, overcommitted on a lot of targets, like trying to kill the DK, only getting the TP, losing 3 Raiders, never worth it. He had a decent creepjack there in the mid game at the marketplace where he got the 1 Fiend and the TP. I was like, oh, maybe this can get to something. But in the end, too much experience on the Undead side, maybe not enough on Infi's side. Here we have game no 1 again. This was a very close moment. If there's no Mana Stone here on 1-0 and he's stubborn enough to stay in this fight, then maybe Infi finds the lead and the victory right here. But there was the Mana Stone. Fiend survived for so long.
That was absolute key in this. This was the key moment in the match. We didn't expect 1-0 to stay in this fight. We didn't expect 1-0 to win that fight. And then he kills unit after unit after unit, saves his Fiend with good coils, and then there's nothing that Infi can do. Excellent scouting against the expansion, shuts it down with a Tinker third. That was just great.
Yeah, and I'm so surprised that Infi plays Orc. Like, when I see him playing Orc against 1-0 like this cannot be less desperate. This cannot be less desperate than his human. Right?
Yes, right.
When he plays human, he has way better chances than this. I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen their last 20 ladder games or something. But whenever I saw them in competition, playing human against Undead, it always looked more promising than what we saw here.
I agree. Definitely way closer, especially with the Blizzard defense that he came up with second last time. So
here was his creepjack where it was looking
exactly.
Nice.
That was looking pretty good with the Hex and Snare. But then, I mean, that he was able to fight out of there despite the heal wave. This shows you how much damage he has there already. Plus a good disable, plus good regen. And then everything is running behind the DK. And that is free damage for the Lich, for the Destroyer, for the Fiend. And he still can't get the kill. This was like an all-in. The Hex was dispelled and the DK survives. If he gets the kill here, looks good, but he didn't. And then, boom, double kill last second.
That was so nice.
So sweet.
The last 2 projectiles killing 2 units. That's a feels good man moment right there.
I agree.
Desperate counterattack. Not working. And that's our first player in the playoffs. So 1-0, he improves upon his last performance at GCS Winter last year.
Correct.
Where he didn't make it out. Now he does in first place as well. So with a decent chance to make it 1 round further as well in the playoffs, which start on Saturday. But who is going to be the second player? Is it going to be Infi in second place, the thing that everybody's expecting, or not?
Yeah, Hunter versus Chimiko next. Lower bracket semifinal. We have the first player in the playoffs. We will say goodbye to the first player. Will he go back to South Korea or to Peru? We will see the 2 losers here. Thank you, Viralis, for the sub. Thank you very much for the support here for this very channel. I hope you all enjoy it. We will be back after a short little break of 7 minutes. Gold Championship Series continues. Group A, Night Elf versus Human coming up.